สวัสดีค่ะ Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very honored to be here to represent the Mafa Luang Foundation under royal patronage and the Doi Tung communities in sharing our experiences with you today. So first of all, please allow me to take you back about 37 years ago to about 1988 when we began the Doi Tung Development Project. So many of you may know that Thailand was part of the Golden Triangle, which 37 or in the 60s actually was the biggest opium growing area in the world. So the Doi Tung Development Project is actually the Doi Tung area. Let me just get closer and point. In the heart of the Golden Triangle is actually an area of around 150 square kilometers with a population of 11,000 people, 6 ethnic minority groups. So that's the Akha, Lahu, Shan, part of Chinese minorities, and also Lu, Lua. So in those days, they are the main opium cultivation area in this region, or one of the main areas, because in the area, the people were very poor. So they had to cultivate opium so that people would be able to have income to meet their basic needs. And so with that also came forest degradation, because they had to cut down trees to do slash and burn cultivation. And in the area, people were also addicted to opium, and they were trafficking in arms and doing other illegal activities to survive. So our founder, the Princess Mother, or Princess Sina Karintra, who's the late grandmother of Thailand's current king today, her fundamental belief was that nobody wants to be bad, but they often have to do bad things because they do not have the opportunity to do good things. So then you must provide people with the opportunity. And she also believes that you have to help people so that they will be able to help themselves over the long term, and that you have to begin by cultivating people first before you can restore nature. So then that's what we did. So in the first instance, to meet the basic needs of the people, we hired the community to grow trees to reforest the area. And over the years, we introduced value-adding activities by introducing high-value macadamia coffee, because we realized that no single crop would be able to compete with opium unless it's high income earning. So then to make sure that we address the needs and also the skills of the diverse populations of Doi Tung, we also introduce other livelihood opportunities, including operating cafes under the Doi Tung brand, handicrafts, horticulture, which we employ the communities to be involved in our landscaping businesses, and also sustainable tourism, where we operate lodges and also restaurants and tourist attractions in the Doi Tung area. So this is under a social enterprise known as the Doi Tung brand. So profits from these businesses go back to social development activities in the area, to education support, to also preparing the community for climate adaptation. So through continuous working together with the community over 37 years, we were able to achieve economic, social, and environmental impact, where income of the area has increased about almost 30 times. People are earning about 3,000 US dollars per capita in the area. So from a poverty that was below poverty line, they are now 3 times above poverty line in Thailand. Social impact-wise, from a largely illiterate population, the community are also able to access education on a par with other members of Thailand. And to highlight, the environmental impact in this area, so basically in the past, when we started working in the project, the areas was more than 50% denuded or deforested. So we were able to reforest the area so that now the area has almost 90% forest coverage. And this is mainly through the land management model in Doi Tung, where we use less land, less than 20%, for economic crop, macadamia and coffee cultivation, but are able to earn higher income than when they started off with by using limited resources. So this is the transformation of Doi Tung by making sure that the people are at the center of their own development process. So today, the Doi Tung project area, is not just a tourist destination, but it is a home to 29 very diverse villages who are still striving to balance between preserving nature and continuing their livelihoods. So in the area, the major historic landmarks, whether it is the royal villa where the princess used to live, or the Hall of Inspiration, which traces the history of the development work of the Mahidol family, or the stories told by the community on the struggles they have come. These serve to testify that through long-term continuous development efforts and visionary committed leadership together with the community, we are able to transform the area. So the Doi Tung project today is actually a global example on sustainable alternative livelihood development. And we're actively involved with the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime and also other countries around the world to share our best practices through coming together on the United Nations guiding principles to help other countries facing similar problems on drugs and development. We continue to receive high-level policy makers who come to learn from the field, from the local people, to actually shape policies together. But beyond, the landmarks, the milestones in the area, what is very important, like what the minister said just now, is the local people who are at the very center of the development process. So we have different generations, from the very elderly, the middle generation, and the younger generation of Doi Tung, who are the ones who are at this center of trying to balance between, keeping up with the modern world and their local traditions, trying to balance between preserving nature and trying to ensure that their livelihood needs are met, and also trying to balance between sufficiency and, wanting more. So that is why, it is very important to engage the local community. And in the next phase of Doi Tung, the Mapha Luang Foundation is no longer at the head or spearheading the development in the area, but it's the community themselves who, for example, we're fostering a lot of entrepreneurs in the area so that they no longer have to just work for the foundation, but they can operate their own social businesses, or they can choose to work, as they wish to take control of their own lives. We're also working on education and instilling morality and spirituality in the younger generation and preparing them for the skills that they need to survive in the modern world. And we're also working very actively on environmental efforts where the local community take care of the natural environment and they also prepare in the face of climate change. So this is why, for us, it's very important for the community to be able to connect with the outside world like yourselves so that they can learn and they can give and grow together with you. So every year we welcome many different groups of visitors who come to exchange with the community members. For example, just a couple of months ago, I had the opportunity to receive the Rockefeller Foundation executives. And in the exchange with the community, they had asked the community members if they have any questions they would like to share at the very end. And the head of the village, one of the villages in Doi Tung, Lishay village, he said that he did not really have a question, but rather an ask. That if he for Lishe, one of the communities there, as resilient and as strong as they are, and as able as they are to access the opportunities, with climate change that is happening and the landslides they faced from, having more rain in 2 months than in 2 days in the past year, they did feel the impact of the consequences. So his ask was that he would like to see foundations like the Rockefeller and the Mafa Luang trying to go out and assist other communities who may be vulnerable, because they would be the ones that need help. And if there's anything that communities like them are able to do to be able to exchange experiences, then they would be very happy to do so. So for us, that serves as a sign that the Doitung community would very much like to share and to learn with the outside world and are fully ready to do that. So in the project area, like I had mentioned before, that we're not really an attraction, but we are a way for people to access, to be able to exchange together with the community. So some of you, thank you very much that you visited the Doitung project area just yesterday. So that in one of the festivals, Colors of Doitung, that is an opportunity for the community to share their arts and crafts and their different activities with the outside world. And also, in addition to the cultural aspect, which in Doitung, you will not see that people are just going about just doing cultural things, because at the same time as maintaining their culture, they're also trying to evolve as dignified Thai citizens. And because Doitung is a diverse area of about many different ecosystem types, from like limestone forest, evergreen forest, etc. So you get to actually, have treks that are very rigorous to just, sitting around and appreciating nature while you do your work. So it's not an intact, pristine forest area, because it's an area that has been revived. But at the same time, it goes to show that if you're able to not cut down trees, but actually protect the trees, then biodiversity can also come back. So in our recent visit by the National University of Singapore, it was found that we have many different species in the area that prove the ecological intactness of the area, whether it's rare birds or insects or different mammal species. And then in this process, you also get to appreciate and join the communities in their ways of life, whether it's their coffee farming that they do on a daily basis. They also organize these visits so you can be joining together with the activities, whether it's artisanal or gourmet activities. And all that with the reassurance that at the end of the day, you have the comfort of comfortable beds and also access to world-class facilities, and an experience that is trying to be as sustainable as you can by contributing back to the community, as well as by trying to be as environmentally conscious as possible. Because from the forest that we're able to restore in an area of over 150 square kilometers, we have carbon credits of around 400,000 tons. So the experiences you have there, we have the trees in Doitung absorb enough carbon sequestration to offset, any emissions we may be producing. And we're also align with the Green Hotel standards and also a zero waste to landfill organization. So just before I close, I would like to share about bring you back basically even before Doitung to the Mafa Luang Art and Cultural Park is what we call it today. It is also called Rai Mafa Luang, or in English, Mafa Luang Plantation. So when people ask us, what do we grow or what do we plant, we actually say that we grow people. So in this area was where we housed, we provided scholarships and housed scholarship students so that we can groom future leaders to go back and develop their villages. And right now, it's no longer a boarding area because the representatives have gone on to blossom elsewhere, but it's one of the largest museums of Lan Na, or basically Thailand, Laos, part of China, collection of arts and artifacts, which continues to host high-level visits and gala dinners, etc. But this, for us, is a reminder that when you believe in people and you cultivate people, then transformation can really happen. So with this, we hope that the communities in Doi Tung will have an opportunity to engage with the larger world and yourselves, and that we can together share these experiences, learn from each other, and also, try to make sure that sustainable travel contributes to sustainable action together. I thank you very much. Khop khunค่ะ